like wind, you are Faith Warden. Go forth, and let your might be known.
Alright, welcome back. As many of you guys know, the panel from Hell 2 just took place, and I have to say, Larian Studios did it in a pretty epic way.
Anyway, we're gonna move over. We're gonna, actually, it's Nick. Nick, can you stop eating the grass and come over, please? Nick? Is he coming? Nick!
There's not many companies that I know of that would go all out for these types of community announcements in the way that Larian does. We've got a lot to talk about today, and I'm going to start off with a studio update and then get right into the upcoming patch 4. If you guys end up enjoying this video, please subscribe. There will be much more Baldur's Gate 3 content on the way. Links to my Twitter and my Discord server will be below. Let's get right into it. Before we get into the details, let me first mention that our ears were graced with a pleasant surprise for the start of the panel. Alina Gingertal's cover of the Baldur's Gate 3 song Down by the River. This is a truly amazing cover, and as you guys can see, she's singing, playing the harp, the flute, and also playing whatever the hell that thing is. Links to her channel will be below. Onto the studio update. Perhaps the biggest news in this regards is that Larian is popping up another studio, this time in southeast England in a town called Guildford. Guildford is apparently known for having a fairly big dev community, with many small to large sized gaming studios already located there, so Larian should have a great opportunity to hire some good additions to their team. Believe it or not, it seems like the majority of Larian Studios' crew, which is around 300 employees now, all seem to be working on Baldur's Gate 3 around the clock. It's actually quite amazing to see how much work is truly being put into this game. I have a feeling that Baldur's Gate 3 will raise the bar for the future of RPGs. Alright, on to the stuff you guys have all been waiting for, Patch 4. Some of this video footage is a bit blurry, so keep that in mind. I think Larian was streaming with a rather low bitrate. We were told that this patch should be coming out sometime next week, which is the week of February 21st through the 27th. This upcoming patch is as big as the 3 previous updates combined, and will likely be the biggest patch in terms of file size that we will see all the way up to the game's release. This doesn't mean that other patches will be small, but more so means that Larian has learned to optimize this particular process a bit. The most exciting part of this patch that we'll start off with is of course the addition of the Druid class. Make sure to stick around because this part is the longest part of the video, but afterwards I'll be rapid firing off the many other important patch 4 notes. As a Druid, we'll have access to both the Circle of the Land and the Circle of the Moon subclasses upon reaching level 2. The Circle of the Land focuses more on the nature and environmental aspects of spellcasting, while the Circle of the Moon focuses in on the Druid's legendary Wild Shape ability. This should be a really fun class to bring us all back to early access, mainly because of the Wild Shape ability. Wild Shape allows a Druid to transform into various beasts and animals, and we will have access to 7 forms in early access alone. We got to see the direwolf form. Alright, Larian, your wolves are improving a bit. A spider form, a cat, an underground buffalo-looking thing called a deep roth, which is apparently really good at climbing ladders, a ferocious, sneaky polar bear, a dire raven, which offers great maneuverability, and a really cool giant badger. If you notice in the gameplay, this badger has a burrow ability, which acts kind of like a teleport, allowing a badger to get various places that others might not be able to, such as underneath doors. The Druid will also come with a variety of Druid spells, such as Flame Blade, which will create a flaming blade which should produce light and of course deal fire damage. A cantrip called Thorn Whip, which can be used to pull enemies off high places. A transmutation spell called Goodberry, which conjures magical healing berries. Flaming Sphere, which creates a big flaming sphere that you can actually control yourself. Not only is this destructive against most life forms, it can also be used to destroy traps and much more. The Druid's a very, very versatile class in and out of combat. They have weapon abilities, they can wear light armor, they have healing and destructive spells, and as we saw with Wild Shape, these animals and beasts have the potential to be used in a variety of utility-based situations as well as combat. It's also important to mention that in Baldur's Gate 3 as of now, or with patch 4, you'll be able to change your Druid's wild shape form during combat at the cost of just a bonus action. I'm not exactly sure how this will work out with your beast's hit points, but I am sure it is something that will be tweaked and monitored as time goes on. The Druid does sound a little OP right now, but only time will tell. It's also important to mention that when playing as a Druid, your experience in the Druid's Grove area in early access will certainly be different than other previous experiences you might have had. The Druids in the Grove will of course recognize that you are a Druid yourself, and this will bring about many unique new dialogue options. We were even told that we can become the Faith Warden of the Grove itself. Whatever that entails, I'm not really sure, but I plan on finding out. My question to you guys is who will be the first to lead the attack on the Druid's Grove as a Druid yourself fighting with the goblins? Maybe I'll be the one to take that trophy, considering that Minthara is the only character who ever wanted to romance me. Alright, now on to the many other various changes, additions, and quality of life improvements that we can expect to see with this upcoming patch. Big thanks to Larian Studios' Tiefling Head of Production, David Walgrave, for giving us this news in style. Patch 4 will contain a mechanic called Loaded Dice. This will be a feature that you can turn on and off. It's completely optional. Loaded Dice will start turning luck your way, so those of you who rage at continuous dice roll fails can now be a bit happier. Larian's audio cut out during this part of the stream, but what I got from it is basically, if you fail a d20 dice roll, which can apply to combat and dialogue, the next d20 roll that you do will have some added luck to it, giving you a better chance for success. This should not work with damage rolls, only rolls that use a d20. This seems like a behind the scenes mechanic that bumps up your percentage chance for success after you have failed. I think it's a great option to have, and it will help avoid a lot of frustration that some players feel when on a streak of rolling 1s, 2s, and 3s. I probably won't use this much myself. I like the brutality of RNG, but it is cool that it's there. There's going to be over 30 more new spells and abilities that will be added. Some of these we talked about earlier. To name a few: Flame Blade, Moonbeam, Produce Flame, Shillelagh, Thorn Whip, Barkskin, Flaming Sphere, Goodberry, Heat Metal, Barkskin, I already said that, Crap, Protection from Poison, Spike Growth, and more. If you want to know what any of those do specifically, you can simply look up the D&D 5th edition versions to get a mostly accurate idea. Next up is improvements to Speak with Dead. Not only will it be easier to see and target creatures that you can use this spell on, there will also be cutscenes for all of these situations, fully voiced with special sound effects and visuals. It's truly amazing how much work is being put into even these smaller, shorter scenes you may get while using Speak with Dead. There will also be more dialogue added to these scenes, so be sure to try it out on your next playthrough and pay attention. One of the best quality of life improvements coming with patch 4 is the ability to now be able to target portraits. So if you want to cast a healing spell on Lae'zel, instead of trying to find her in the midst of 15 goblins, you can simply now just click on her character's portrait and that will cast the spell on her. This is definitely a nice improvement. Up next is the fleeing mechanic. This mechanic will help you flee battles if you feel like that is the right move. Before, your character would stay in combat even as you tried to move away. Now you have a chance to actually get away. This will be done individually with each character. It's not a party move. So if 3 of your party members die, you can flee to try to save yourself and then come back to try and res and handle the situation differently. I was wondering if they would add something like this, and they did. Your multiplayer experience should be improved with patch 4 as well. Connections will be more stable, finding a party will be easier, and you'll be able to see your party members' stats and inventory, making pickpocketing even more tempting. Cinematics have gone through many improvements, lighting being one of them. Lighting can really make or break a scene, so this will be exciting to see. Some scenes have new angles and positions now, and there will also be some completely new scenes as well. another thing to keep a keen eye out for. There's going to be a lot of user interface improvements that you should notice, especially on the options screen. Many things have been reskinned and should be easier to work with. Using a torch will be much easier now. If you pick up one, an icon will automatically be added to your hotbar. If you click on the icon, this will slot your weapons for you and switch to the torch, and vice versa. There's supposedly going to be some proper Gith weapons in the game now. The Githyanki is an interesting race, and those of you who know some of their lore might recall that they like to use silver swords. My guess is that we will now be seeing some of these. The Flaming Fist will now have their coat of arms displayed on their shield, and yep, that's a Flaming Fist. If you get a condition in combat, you can now go to the combat log, mouse over it, and get more information on it. This is a nice update as well because it is important to better understand what's happening to your character. And that's basically all of the more significant stuff that was revealed to us for patch 4. But keep in mind, there's definitely a lot more to it as well.
Good.
If you found the ring Sunwalker's gift, you know that one? It now gives you dark vision. An arcane ward now gets 2 times the wizard level plus the
This is actually funny.
to your temporary HP.
All right.
The hook horror can now be silenced.
Silence is a really good term right now. So I'm just going to get over there. We have more stuff to talk about. So as we just move over, and thank you very much, David, for this very clear update. I know that you couldn't talk.
What do you guys think about this upcoming patch 4? I am personally very excited. The Druid class is a great addition to early access and is going to offer a lot of variety. I was also hoping for the Paladin. We might have to wait another month or 2 for that. Thanks so much for watching, guys. If you guys ended up enjoying this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. I do all sorts of content on this channel, ranging from live streams to game reviews to game tutorials to lore videos to class guides and much more. I'd love to have some of you guys back for a future video. Until next time.